This is inner motion. We don't run from the dark. We walk straight into it, and we come out unrecognizable. You think winning is about talent. It's not. You think it's about motivation. It's not. You think it's about being the smartest, the strongest, the fastest. But it's not. It's about one thing and one thing only: endurance. The game is rigged for the one who can suffer longer than everyone else. The one who can wake up in pain, train in pain, and sleep in pain. The one who can sit in silence with no applause, no support, no results, and keep showing up. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency in the storm. You want to change your life? Good. Start by suffering. Not once, not for a week, not for 30 days, but for years. Can you suffer without quitting? Can you keep walking when your legs shake, your back aches, and your soul is screaming to stop? That's the question. Because the truth is, this world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the most unbreakable. You see, we're raised to believe that success is about feeling good, about finding passion or chasing happiness. But the path to real power, to true transformation, is carved in pain. You don't build a legacy by feeling good. You build it by bleeding, failing, and still showing up again. Because while most people fold when it hurts, the winner leans in. He doesn't pray for the pain to stop. He uses it, and slowly, while everyone else crumbles, he becomes forged by it. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the gatekeeper. And the only man who walks through that gate is the one who refuses to back down. You want to become that man. Then suffer, silently, daily, willingly. Because the man who can suffer longest wins. Asterisk, most men break at the first sign of pressure. They train for a week and expect transformation. They suffer for a month and expect reward. They put in effort, but only when it's convenient. Then they wonder why nothing changes. They don't. Understand this. The universe does not respond to temporary effort. It bends for those who outlast pain. You think you deserve results because you tried. No, you earn results when you endure without a clock, when you show up with nothing in return, when you bleed and burn and crawl and keep going. There's a reason most people lose. They want comfort in the storm. They want validation during the suffering. They want applause while they're still weak. But suffering doesn't come with a trophy. It comes with silence, isolation, and doubt. And most men, they run. They leave when it's not exciting anymore. They quit when the results don't show up on their timeline. They numb themselves with distraction, with dopamine, with excuses. But the man who wins, he stays. He hurts, and he stays. He doesn't care how long it takes. He doesn't care if no one sees it. He suffers for as long as it takes. And that's why he wins. Because while the rest of the world folds, under pressure, he becomes pressure. You want the truth? Most people aren't willing to suffer for what they want. They say they want greatness, but they fold at discomfort. They say they want strength, but they avoid every hardship. They're not lying to you. They're lying to themselves. Because if you truly wanted it, you'd bleed for it. You'd break for it. You'd sacrifice for it. Real winners, they don't need motivation. They're driven by something darker, something primal, something permanent. It's not hype. It's not excitement. It's not energy. It's pain, converted into fuel. They wake up tired. They train anyway. They feel fear. They move anyway. They get knocked down. They rise anyway. It's not that they feel nothing. It's that they don't surrender to it. Because here's the cold truth. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel good. You don't even have to feel hopeful. You just have to keep going. Every day, without applause, without permission, without comfort. The grind will break you before it builds you. And that's the point. It's a test. Too. See if you're worth becoming who you say you want to be. So suffer. And keep suffering. Until the suffering becomes normal. Until your pain tolerance becomes lethal. You want to rise. Then you pay in pain. There's no shortcut. There's no hack. No one escapes the cost. Everyone who has ever built something great, they bled for it. They were doubted. They were laughed at. They were ignored. And still, they endured. Because pain is the price. You want strength, you earn it through strain. You want power, you earn it through perseverance. You want peace. You earn it through chaos. Most people will never get there because most people want the results without the process. They want the crown, but not the crucifixion. They want to be admired, not forged. But that's not how this works. There is a law written in the blood and sweat of every man who came before you. Pain is the currency. The more you can take, the more you can become. Not instantly, not quickly, but eventually. Because time doesn't matter here. Only tolerance does. Can you suffer without losing your fire? Can you stay focused when everything around you is falling apart? Can you keep your head down, your heart cold, and your feet moving? If you can, you're dangerous. Because most people collapse at the first sign of fatigue. But you make fatigue your home. You live there. You breathe there. You sharpen your edge there. And eventually, you emerge unrecognizable. Because the man who can suffer longest wins. At some point, it's no longer about the pain. It's about who you've become through it. Suffering stops being something you endure. It becomes something you embody. You don't just tolerate it, you require it. Not because you're broken, but because you're building something no one else understands. You stop looking for ease. You stop praying for relief. You realize the struggle isn't in your way. It is your way. And through it, you begin to shed your old self, the weak version of you, the one who needed comfort. Attention, permission dies, and something harder is born. Something colder, something more dangerous. This is identity through adversity. Not motivational quotes, not fake positivity, but real scars. Pain you earned, battlefields you survived, demons you didn't run from, but lived with. Every scar becomes a signature, proof that you didn't quit. And when you look in the mirror, you don't see the boy who used to cry. You don't see the man who used to break. You see someone forged, unapologetic, relentless, unshakable. Not because he was always strong, but because he suffered until strength became natural. And now, he doesn't fear pain, he welcomes it. Asterisk, when the world breaks you, most people expect you to stay broken. They expect you to tap out, to disappear, to fall back into mediocrity. But you won't, because you didn't come this far to quit when it gets harder. You came here to outlast the pain, outlast the doubt, outlast the seasons of silence. You don't need to be the loudest. You don't need to be seen. You just need to keep going. Because every day you don't quit, you separate yourself. Every rep in pain, every lonely night, every setback you don't let break you. That's the gap. That's the invisible line between men who talk and men who transform. It's not about one big moment. It's about thousands of silent ones, where no one claps, where no one notices, but you show up anyway, and that's what makes you unstoppable. They'll look back and wonder how you did it. They'll ask where your motivation came from. They won't understand, because they didn't see the suffering. They didn't see the nights you didn't sleep, the mornings you couldn't breathe, the weight you carried alone, but you know, and that's all that matters. You weren't built to be average. You weren't meant to blend in. You were designed to become the edge, the breaking point others fear. Most men avoid pain. You sharpen yourself with it. Most seek ease. You seek pressure, because pressure builds presence. It turns invisible men into legends, and you're not here to survive. You're here to dominate. Not through noise, not through arrogance, but through silence and suffering. The kind of suffering that makes you lethal. Calm, focused, precise. You become the man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't break, who doesn't beg for mercy when the storm hits. You walk through it slowly, quietly, because you've trained for this. You've bled for this. You've buried your weakness and built something ruthless in its place. And now, you don't need to convince anyone. Your discipline speaks. Your energy intimidates. Your consistency dominates. You are the edge, and no one wants to be on the other side of it. There's a version of you that died. The one who needed comfort. The one who chased validation. The one who folded under pressure. You buried him. With every rep, with every lonely night, with every silent sacrifice. And now, you've resurrected something else. Not a man who needs the world, but a man the world has to catch up to. You walk different now, not because you're arrogant, but because you've been through hell and kept walking. You look different, not because you're trying to impress, but because pain reshaped your face. There's a stillness in your eyes, the kind that comes from fighting demons alone and winning. Most people can't see it, they don't understand it, but they feel it. They feel the weight of your presence, because you carry scars they don't, and that's why they fear you. Not because you're loud, but because you've done what they refuse to. You suffered, you stayed, you didn't run, and now you've returned. Harder, colder, calmer, because the old you died in the pain, and the new you, he was born there. Everyone wants the outcome, but no one wants the hours that no one claps for. The 5 a.m. alarms, the late night breakdowns, the silent battles in your own mind. Those are the hours that matter, not the highlight reels, not the filtered success stories, but the raw, invisible grind, when no one's watching, when no one believes in you, when the pain feels like it's never going to end, and still you move, still you show up, still you work. That's what separates the ones who want it from the ones who are becoming it. It's easy to say you're disciplined. It's easy to say you want it. But are you willing to bleed for it in private? Are you willing to get up every day with no applause and no guarantee? Because the truth is, success is built in the hours that don't get posted, in the workouts no one sees, in the tears no one wipes, in the reps you do after your body says stop. You don't need anyone to notice. You don't need anyone to care, because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the man in the mirror, the one who kept going, the one who never asked for easy, the one who embraced pain until it couldn't break him anymore. This is inner motion. We don't run from the dark, we walk straight into it, and we come out unrecognizable.